welcome to this lovely Saturday morning here at Claremont McKenna College. Thank you for attending. The cadets are going to be marching in here in just a second, so thank you very much. At this time, Chaplain Morales will now lead us in the invocation.
Let's go to prayer. Almighty Creator, we pause mentors who have given them the opportunity to overcome these past several years. Lord, grant each graduate wisdom to apply themselves to the challenges ahead. May they rise to every occasion and lead with professionalism and honor. Lord, as we honor graduates this morning, our hearts cannot help but wander to the war that is being waged across this nation and this world for the cause of freedom. We ask that you guide our leaders in their decisions that they make on the battlefield and the planning rooms. We ask for your protection, courage, watch care for all deployed, and give their families comfort. And now, Lord, stir our hearts together this morning, strengthen this class, and each of us to meet every challenge and every threat that awaits to confront us, as we pledge this day to always protect and serve the people of this great United States. I pray these things in your name. Amen.
Please be seated. Colonel Bartow, Lieutenant Colonel Doyle, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, parents and friends, thank you for attending today's commissioning ceremony. I'd like to ask all the veterans in attendance today to please stand and be recognized by this future Army leaders and friends. We thank you for your service and appreciate all the hard work and sacrifice you have done. This time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to you the 36th Professor of Military Science and Leadership from Claremont McKenna College, Army ROTC, Lieutenant Colonel Michael J. Doyle.
Thank you. My name is Mike Doyle, and I have the pleasure of being the 36th Professor of Military Science at Claremont McKenna College. It truly is one of the best jobs in the Army, and I firmly believe that. I've been here for 3 years, and I can say without any hesitation that this group of young men and women is ready to go lead soldiers in our American Army. They're smart, they're fit, they work hard, they're responsible. They're more responsible than their peers, and they're a little bit harder working than a lot of their peers also. But most of all, they've been put through a rigorous training regimen here at the Claremont McKenna ROTC program. They've studied and completed all their academics. I think they've completed all their academics. The paperwork's signed, just go with it. But most importantly, they haven't done this alone. So I'd like to thank all of you that are here today, the support system for these cadets, soon to be lieutenants, because without your assistance, guidance, help, comfort, concern, rent-free housing, food in the fridge, all that stuff, these cadets, these lieutenants wouldn't be here today. So thank you very much for all you do. And before I introduce our guest speaker, I've got two people I want to call up. If Mr. Devon Woollen and Mr. Kevin Arnold would come to the stage, please. We've got something for them real briefly. I didn't tell them, so we're a little off script, but we're just gonna fight through it. Gentlemen, come on. Evan first. Go to that center tape real quick. So Lieutenant Colonel retired Devon Woollen was the 35th Professor of Military Science, my predecessor 3 years ago. He retired from the United States Army after 23 years of service-ish. Many of those, but not all of them, a good performance. But he retired and we didn't, he retired and we didn't do anything for him. So what we've got for him today, this is battalion colors. I'm gonna present to him with patches from all 6 of our programs, as well as a battalion coin. The inscription says, "Thank you for your commitment to excellence and continued service to the cadre and cadets of Claremont McKenna College as a professor of military science and leadership, Golden Lions, 2012 to 2016. So, Evan, thank you for all you do. Sorry this is three years late, but this is for you. Mr. Kevin Arnold was the 31st Professor of Military Science in the elite PMS Club at Claremont McKenna College. He's also departing the college on July 1st this year, to go to Hawaii. So for 2 years, and he's leaving the program. So similarly, I have this battalion colors for him with the patches of all 6 schools and the coin. Same inscription, 1997 to 2001 is our Professor of Military Science. Mr. Arnold, you're a friend of the program. I appreciate your counsel. Thank you for everything you've done for our cadets in this school. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. And they didn't know that was coming, so fun for me. It's now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. Colonel Aaron Barter is the United States Army Corps of Engineers Los Angeles District Commander. He has more than 20 years of active service, and now he leads an organization with 746 military and civilian personnel operating a 226,000 square mile area of California, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. He was commissioned as an engineer officer at the United States Military Academy at West Point on June 5th, 1995, where he received a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Later, he earned an MA in Engineering Management from Southern Methodist University in Dallas. He has commanded the company in battalion and now brigade level. He has been stationed in Korea, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, Fort Hood, Texas, Fort Meade, Maryland, Germany, and has tours to Iraq and Afghanistan. It's my pleasure to introduce Colonel Bartow.
Right. Good morning, everybody. First of all, thank you for the invitation to come here. This is actually quite an honor for me to be able to come and do a commission ceremony. I mean, what this really represents to myself as a committed officer in our military is an investment into our institution of our nation. What we have here, this is the stock of our future. These are the leaders that are going to lead our men and women, daughters and sons into wherever our nation asks us to go to. And so with that, we want to make sure we invest heavily. We have invested heavily over the last 4 years, and I guarantee you, we as a military will continue to invest in the enrichment of every one of these officers, and they grow as they go through the year. So this is not the last of your education. This is the beginning of your education, and there will be many more opportunities. The military, United States Army, you'll find you'll spend an inordinate amount of time going to school, going to training, and it's all for one thing, that is to get a return in investment when it comes to protecting our sons and daughters that you're going to lead as well. So this is a really important day for me, a really important day for our military, an important day for our nation. So I think you will, over the years, reflect back and understand what this really meant for you as far as your growth moving forward. So again, thank you for allowing me to be part of that as well. And so I won't talk too long. I know we all, family wants to be here and sit there and meet you and congratulate you, but I guess this is my opportunity to pass on a little bit of advice on what's the future is going to look like for you, and how you can set yourselves up for success. I will start off with probably the most important thing. I'll just go up front right now, is not you, but all the soldiers you lead, and everyone that one's already in the military, and the ones you're going to see in the future. Everybody joins for the simple same reason. Everybody joins the Army or the military for one reason, and it's because we recognize that the Army allows us to have a better path forward. It allows us to to make our lives better. The Army is a recognized profession that does that. No matter what, it is a step forward. No one joins the Army to take a step back. No one joins the Army to be mediocre. They all have their reasons. But I'll tell you that no matter what, the reasons are 1,000 times fold differently. I've had soldiers who joined the Army because they wanted to serve their nation, and that's great. And those are the people we want to see. I've had soldiers who joined the Army because they wanted to get free education, and that's great. We need those people, and we want them to grow for our nation as well. I've had soldiers who joined the Army because they had 5 kids and needed health care, and that's great. We want those people. We want them. They all know they join the Army because it provides something that they can better their lives. I've had soldiers who join the Army because they didn't have a job. It's okay. We need those people. We want those people. But with that, when they join the Army and you're in charge of leading them, remember, they're reliant upon you to figure out what to do next. And the path is always not very clear. Some people know exactly what they want to do. When I got commissioned, even though I went to the academy, I really had no idea what my future was going to look like. My goal was not to be in for 24, 25 years like I am now before I retire. I was just trying to figure out what I'm going to do the next day. And I came from a background where I didn't have any excuses, but a lot of your soldiers are not going to really be there. They may have come from families who were not always there, or may have been a little broken, or may have provided them guidance that was really not good guidance. May have people, that have different influence and stuff. So you as leaders, your job is to be that guide, be that road, be that mentor, be that Sherpa, be that person that teaches them this is how we move forward and how we lead. And so your job comes down to really one thing, and is your job is to understand how people think and how people see the world. The paths and the future in front of you and in front of your soldiers is not a straight road from here to a goal. The path forward is a twisted road of left and right turns, dead ends, wrong way streets, traffic, blocked roads, just peril. It is a giant. It's worse. Your life is worse than going to downtown LA on a daily basis. When you're, as a new person, you don't know what's forward. And so there are many paths to take. There are many paths to success. There are many paths to failure, and no one really knows what they really want. And so understand that your soldiers are going to be going down that path. And as I said before, they may not know exactly how to get there. And so they're looking for you as a leader to help them out. And I'm not saying just because you graduated from this great ROTC program, you have all the answers. I guarantee you don't. and you're going to be learning your own path along as it is yourself. So as you grow and as you figure out your path, you're also in charge immediately as a second lieutenant to help inspire and grow those paths as well. So with that, understand that being a leader is about one thing, and it's about knowing how people think and being able to get them to think better about themselves, better about the future, and the same as you, to get yourselves to think better about yourself and better about your future. So remember, as a leader, start with the fact that you have been commissioned as a role model. That's your primary job. You're a role model. And so I don't know if it's been put into you, that concept, but I don't know if it's in your head is, how are you going to be that role model? I would start with one is, every time you talk, make sure that you are trying to inspire somebody. And that's not really that easy. It's kind of hard, actually. You know, a lot of it's, we're born of our personalities, and sometimes it's kind of hard, but you're going to have to learn how to be an inspirer every time you talk. And you're also going to have to talk like you're a team builder. You know, you're a leader of a team. You're no longer an individual. That's why you're called a leader. And so talk the talk, walk the walk, but know the words, know how people think, and be able to inspire at all times. And you'll get better and better over the years as you do that. But remember, every time you lead, every time you talk, you got to have a goal in mind about how are you going to grow your organization, how are you going to grow your soldiers, and how are you going to grow the future in the military. Because one day, as you start off as a junior leader in the military, soon, in a blink of an eye, you're going to be one of the senior leaders, and you're going to really understand that you need to start investing in our future. So start thinking about those long-term goals. So remember, your job is to lead. Your job is to inspire. Your job is to show that path to those leaders. So as an officer, you've been focusing on yourself to grow yourself, to get your education, but now it's time for you to start thinking about other people as well, because that's why we make you officers, is to lead. And there will be times where leadership gets tested. The stresses of the day-to-day life, the day-to-day combat, the day-to-day deployments into third world countries will test that leadership. And those who in the back in the barracks were the chest-thumping leaders crack under pressure when they get forward. And those are the soldiers out there who were always causing trouble, end up being those leaders out in the field. And so you'll realize that, and you'll see the difference, and understand that really what it came down is about that personality, about their charisma, about their intestinal fortitude, and it really comes down to about their values. And so those values, I hope, is something that you had grown with them and you had fostered with them, and they end up using the words that you use, the aspiration that you use, the inspiration that you use, and the team building that you use. And that's where you're going to know that you've done a great job as being a leader. So keep that in mind as you start to move forward, as you figure out the art of leadership. It is something that you can't read in a book. It's something you can't write down and do a calculation for. It's something you're going to have to do as you develop yourself, but remember always to keep the future in mind. Also, keep in mind with a couple of those people out there who may not have gotten that message, and they think they're leaders, but they're really not. And so your job is to find those people, educate them on the things that are going wrong. Watch out for the infamous barracks lawyer. I'm sure you all heard about the barracks lawyer. The barracks lawyer is the person who knows. Barracks lawyer is the soldier who knows everything, but really is giving bad advice. Telling them, buy that fast car and don't invest in your next college education. Telling that soldier out there, we should go out and spend all our money this weekend and not be safe. Telling them that here's a personal administrative action, but it's not correct. Watch out for those barracks lawyers. The barracks lawyer with technology, has gotten pretty advanced. They have an app out there. It's called Reddit. I hear it's the starting point for all references for the ROTC cadets. You make sure you understand how the science and how the rules and regulations have you work, and separate those people who didn't get that message about being role models, and educate them and separate them for those aspiring young soldiers who join for one reason only, and it's to improve their lives. And with that, the second piece I want you to talk about is that 5% soldier. And we've all talked about, you spend 95% of your time trying to fix the problem caused by those 5% of the soldiers that keep causing problems. And you will do that, and that happens. But just keep in mind from the rule number 1 is they join the Army for a reason, and that's to get better themselves. The problem is they just don't know the path forward. And so a tendency that I've seen over the years, and I've learned to make sure I don't do that myself, is leaders take those 5% soldiers who cause so much trouble and they push them to the side. And they try to reduce their headaches by ignoring them or making them leave the military or really making the situation work. So what I ask you to do is take those 5% soldiers and sit down and talk to them and ask them, why did you join the military? In the situation you're in now, is this really what you want? Is this your definition? Is this how you plan to get success? And I'm sure they're going to say no or recognize that, or you'll help them recognize that. And then work with them, develop them, and help show them the path. It may take months, it may take years, it may take a decade, but that's your job, is to get those 5% soldiers and make them the great leaders that they can be. And I guarantee you, when you find yourselves under stress, you find yourselves in combat, you find yourselves deployed to a third world country, those soldiers there will turn around and they'll be great leaders because you took the time to invest in those 5% soldiers. The third piece of advice and the last piece of advice is a couple of other things, some short, easy tips. So as you're learning your job, remember, we all have a boss. I've got a boss, you'll have a boss. So step number 1 is do what your boss says, all right? We all encourage, the military, we encourage and we want out of the box thinkers. We want innovation. We want good ideas. We want aspiration. And have those and present those and tell your boss these great ideas and how to get things done better as well. But don't forget to do what your boss told you to do. I've had a lot of peers and friends who had great ideas, but they forgot to do what the boss said, and they couldn't figure out why they kept getting in trouble. So start number 1 is do what your boss says. Then come back with your great ideas about how to make things better. And so where do you get these great ideas? Well, I'm sure they're going to pop in your head because you're all smart men and women. But your great ideas are going to come from your soldiers. And how do you find out these great ideas? Well, you start by asking them, what are your great ideas? So if you have a problem, and let's just make it easy, the problem is, should I go around the left side of the hill or should I go on the right side of the hill? In the end, does it really matter if you go to right or left? I mean, I'm sure you're going to accomplish the mission whether you do right or left. Ask your soldiers, what's the way you think you should do it? And they'll say, oh, I think we should go to the left. That's a great idea. Let's go to the left. And you're going to accomplish that mission. You're all going to give each other high fives in the end. And then you need to give recognition and tell your boss and tell their peers, this soldier is the one who told me to go left. It was his idea. Give him credit or her credit for those great ideas and use that to build their teams. And I know your boss will do the same for you to give you the credit. Don't realize there are many roads to success. There's not always one answer to everything. And use those learning opportunities to make things go forward. And the last piece is, remember, as you have these great ideas and you do what your boss is saying, your job is to make your boss's job easier, not harder. Don't become that 5% officer. Grow your organization, grow your team. Think of yourselves as CEOs of your own business. You want to grow your business. And so keep that in mind. Don't wait for orders. Don't wait for direction. Grow yourself, and your boss will see that as well. So with that, I think those are the things, those are the starting blocks of how to be a leader, how to be successful. And remember, you are a role model above and beyond anything, and learning about how people think is going to make you successful. So think about that. When you get out and this is done, talk to your parents and your friends and your family. They have, even in a normal world, those same lessons learned out there, and learn from the people who've been there and done that, and figure out how are you going to apply that when you show up to your next unit as well. So congratulations to this day. It is the beginning of a long road. It is an enjoyable road. The Army can be a very difficult life, but it is also a very rewarding life. It's something that you will always be proud of no matter what you do, that you can go out in public and tell people all the great things I did, and they'll be very proud of what you did. And you should be proud of what you've accomplished so far, and it will continue. And I'm envious of you. I wish I can go back and do it again. But it's time for me to turn over to our next generation. So congratulations.
Cadets, upon being commissioned, take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. This document was ratified on June 21st, 1788, and became effective March 4th, 1789. This is the cornerstone to our way of life and to the world's most extraordinary constitutional republic. At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Doyle will now administer the commissioning oath.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Jacob Brand,
Having been appointed an officer
having been appointed officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which
upon which
I'm about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Brent is from Morgan Hill, California. He's graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Applied Exercise Science from Azusa Pacific University. He is branching active duty infantry. He's being pinned by his mother, Connie, his brother, Danny, and sister, Nicole. It is an honored tradition that a newly commissioned second lieutenant proudly hands a shiny silver teller to the first enlisted service member who salutes him or her. The exact origin of this custom is arguable, but it likely began before the U.S. Armed Forces were organized. British regiments stationed in colonial North America brought with them a number of customs and traditions which were retained by the newly formed American Armed Forces. Staff Sergeant Retired Pittman will now render Second Lieutenant Brandt his first salute. Second Lieutenant Burton is from Redlands, California. She's graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Government and Middle Eastern Studies from Claremont McKenna College. She is branching active duty ordnance. She's being pinned by her mother, Jennifer, and her brother, Ryan. Sergeant First Class Davis will now render Second Lieutenant Burton her first salute. Second Lieutenant Dan Deutsch is from San Jose, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Technology and Operations Management from Cal Poly Pomona. He is branching California Army National Guard Ordnance. He is being penned by his mother, Ophelia, and sister, Jensen. Master Sergeant Retired Dan Deutsch will now render Second Lieutenant Dan Deutsch his first salute. Second Lieutenant Floyd is from Monrovia, California. He's graduating with a Bachelor's in Political Science from Azusa Pacific University. He is branching active duty infantry. He's being penned by his parents, Steve and Valerie. Sergeant First Class Retired Menjivar will now render Second Lieutenant Floyd his first salute.
Infantry, fleet of battle. Follow me.
Second Lieutenant Geiling is from Goleta, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in History and Humanities from Azusa Pacific University. He is branching active duty infantry. He's being penned by his parents, Rolf, Trish, his siblings, Max and Olivia, and in spirit, his youngest brother, Rudy, who sure would have been happy to be here today. May he rest in peace. Corporal Retired Zambrano, U.S. Marine Corps, will now render Second Lieutenant Geiling his first salute. Second Lieutenant Ha is from Garden Grove, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Electronic Systems Engineering Technology from Cal Poly Pomona. He is branching active duty field artillery. He is being pinned by his mother Helen and his cousin Major Wynn. Petty Officer Second Class Becker will now render Second Lieutenant Ha his first salute. Second Lieutenant Sue is from Cerritos, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Information Systems from Cal Poly Pomona. He is branching active duty signal. He is being pinned by his sister Angela. Master Sergeant Rosales will now render Second Lieutenant Sue his first salute.
Go line, sir.
Second Lieutenant Irwin is from Bend, Oregon. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from Azusa Pacific University. She is branching California Army National Guard Nurse Corps. She's being pinned by her parents Brent and Julie. Sergeant First Class Retired Menjivar will now render Second Lieutenant Irwin her first salute.
Be the battle.
Second Lieutenant LaPlaw is from Escondido, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics from Claremont McKenna College. He's branching active duty aviation. He is being pinned by his grandmother Nancy, his father Charles, and his brother Austin. Corporal Retired West will now render Second Lieutenant LaPlaw his first salute. Second Lieutenant Moya is from Los Angeles, California. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Liberal Studies from Cal Poly Pomona. She's branching active duty ordnance. She's being pinned by her brother Carlos and sister Ashley. Specialist Moya will now render Second Lieutenant Moya her first salute. Too many Moyas screwing me up. Second Lieutenant Pena is from Brentwood, California. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology and Liberal Studies from Azusa Pacific University. She is branching active duty ordnance. She is being pinned by her siblings Mateo and Aaliyah. Staff Sergeant Pena will now render Second Lieutenant Pena her first salute. Second Lieutenant Pena is from Laverne, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology from Azusa Pacific University. He is branching active duty armor. He is being pinned by his parents Raul and Lisabeth. Sergeant First Class Retired Menjivar will now render Second Lieutenant Pena his first salute.
Infantry leads the way. Follow me.
That better be your last salute. I'm not letting you back.
Second Lieutenant Schneider is from Lake Forest, California. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Cinematography from Azusa Pacific University. She is branching California Army National Guard Quartermaster. She is being pinned by her family Laura, Samuel, and Milani. Sergeant First Class Retired Solis will now render Second Lieutenant Schneider her first salute.
Either way, man.
Second Lieutenant Schneider is also from Lake Forest, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Allied Health from Azusa Pacific University. He is branching California Army National Guard Ordnance. He is being penned by his family, Jill, Mark, and Chris. Staff Sergeant retired U.S. Air Force will now render Second Lieutenant Snyder his first salute.
Congratulations, sir.
Second Lieutenant Syrie is from Lodi, California. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Liberal Studies with a focus in mathematics and a minor in Leadership Studies from Azusa Pacific University. She's branching Reserves Chemical Corps. She is being penned by her parents, Scott and Francis. Airman First Class Syrie, U.S. Air Force, will now render Second Lieutenant Syrie her first salute. Second Lieutenant Velasco is from Chicago, Illinois. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Neuroscience from Claremont McKenna University. He is branching Army Reserve Quartermaster. He is being penned by his parents, Felix Cielo. Sergeant First Class Davis will now render Second Lieutenant Velasco his first salute. Second Lieutenant Voigt is from Goleta, California. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Applied Exercise Science from Azusa Pacific University. He is branching active duty infantry. He is being penned by his parents, Scott and Donna. Staff Sergeant Retired Jones will now render Second Lieutenant Voigt his first salute.
Congratulations, sir.
Second Lieutenant Warwick is from Mason, Ohio. He is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Marketing and a minor in Business Management from Azusa Pacific University. He's branching active duty infantry. He is being pinned by his parents, Randy and Debbie. Nice job. Sergeant Carroza, U.S. Marine Corps, will now render Second Lieutenant Warwick his first salute. Second Lieutenant Wilson is from Manistee, California. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from Azusa Pacific University. She is branching active duty Nurse Corps. She is being pinned by her mother, Yvette, and fiancé, Miguel. Sergeant First Class Menjivar will now render Second Lieutenant Wilson her first salute.
Peter Bartow.
Follow me.
Second Lieutenant Zargami is from El Dorado Hills, California. She is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Kinesiology with a minor in Leadership Studies from Azusa Pacific University. She is branching California Army National Guard Medical Service Corps. She is being pinned by her parents, Dave and Jewel. Well done. First Class Retired Menjivar will now render Second Lieutenant Zargami her first salute.
Peter Bartow.
Let's give a round of applause to the Army's newest second lieutenants.
At this time, Second Lieutenant LaPlaw would like to present Colonel Bartow a small token of appreciation for his encouraging words. Please remain standing as we close in prayer. Chaplain Morales will now deliver the benediction.
Let's go to prayer. Lord, may these young men and women receive this blessing to go into the world, the graduating class of 2019. May they have the commitment to go into the world being led by the great spirit of hope and imagination, to see the gifts and achievements that you, the Almighty Creator, calls them to do. May they have the courage to live impossible dreams so they may become possible. May they also have the courage not to look back, because they are confident that they can, through the mighty ways of you, be called into what they are. As they go forth, let them practice the accumulated knowledge that they've achieved over these years. Let them go forth with their heads in the clouds of ambition towards making life better for all of those whom they protect in this great country. Give them feet firmly planted, Lord, on the solid ground, plowed by family, friends, and teachers, that they share this honor and duty. May they go into the heights with their present capabilities and follow the lead that you have given them. And lastly, allow them to go, knowing that what they have received today is yours, and that nothing will distract them for their love of country, family, and you. We pray these things in the name of the Almighty Creator. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we close the ceremony, please join us in the singing of the Army Song. A copy of the lyrics of the Army Song are located in your program.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cages loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Thank you for attending today's ceremony. Refreshments will be located outside. Those wishing to take pictures of our newly commissioned second lieutenants with the colors may do so outside near the main entrance. Congratulations again to these fine new officers, Golden Lions.
See out there, we'll take pictures. You guys are off. Let's go. Make sure you secure his gear for him.
Sir, I will be whatever you need me to be.
Perfect, perfect.
Thank you very much.
If you want a souvenir?
How's the cadre of the